Hey YouTube, this is Dan from the channel. Um, haven't done a video in a while, but wanted to put myself back on video once again. Um, kind of reflect on the whole YouTube journey that I've been on for years. I don't know. I think it's interesting looking back at it. I started with like meditation, personality stuff. Um, I have always been interested in personal growth. I've always been interested in diving deeper and also sharing insights and helping people along the way. Um, I feel like I've always been connected with sharing my experiences and helping people and just giving value back and making people feel special. Um, so it just dawned on me that maybe I should take the channel in a different direction and care less about, you know, how popular it gets. And really just kind of diary. Um, I've always been I've always been a talker, um, but I really like the idea of just kind of using this as like an open diary, um, to just share more regularly, more raw, um, my life, and to kind of designate a place for me to reflect and process, and designate this place and process with an audience, I guess. Um, I don't know. I'm toying with the idea. Um, but so I'm gonna start it off with I'm gonna start off this new direction with a new diary sequence. This is gonna be my first diary entry, not just a blog. It's gonna be like a diary log. Let's just call it a diary log. Um, so much has really happened, I feel like, since I've regularly posted videos, content. And, you know, I feel like in a lot of ways, the world, in my perception, the world is just moving so quickly now. And it feels like, it kind of just feels like it's like slipping away. I don't know. But I notice just how quickly life is moving, and it's just so interesting. It makes you realize that, you don't have all the moments you think you have. Um, and I think that's a really big deal, because today I was driving on the road and I saw, I forgot what you call them, like those cars that carry caskets with like dead bodies. And I was driving past the coffin vehicle. I was driving past it, faster than it, and it was like a really good like metaphor. I felt like that, like, we're trying to beat, not like death, we're not trying to race against death, we're not, but like we have a timeline, right? Like there's going to be an end. And I'm not sure if it's just because my dad's not in the best health that I'm seeing things differently, because I've always been very observant on time and getting things done and working hard and maximizing my time and trying to do my best in terms of productivity. But, there's just so much that I've been putting my attention towards lately. Like so much has changed in my life in the last 3 to 4 months, and it kind of feels like life is just so different now. Um, I went from being in Austin, um, having so many friends and loved ones around me, and some struggles too, to 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 being back in New York, a place where I just don't want to be. It's the last place I want to be, but I'm here to be supportive for my family, for various reasons. My dad being one of them, my brother being one of them, sister being one of them, being here for my grandma. Um, and, transitioning into a different part of life, and also being like 31 now. It's, you know, I've gone through so many transitions in life already, but it's the book, the chapters continue. The chapters always move forward. There's always a new chapter in your book, and I think there's always new lessons to discover. There's always something new to learn, always new people to experience. And I think that's really amazing that, there's within each new chapter of life, there's new people, new scenarios. But it's also sad to see that some things don't come along with you. Like I just miss so many people from Austin so much. Miss my rabbi, miss my friends. You know, um, just a whole life that you build somewhere, and you think that you're going to build a life there for a very long time. And there's just not many things in life that are permanent, but people can be, and memories are pretty permanent. Your experiences, what you've experienced, your past. Um, Speaking, what's also permanent, I think, in a way, is how you handle situations and how you respond to situations. Um, Responding what's in your best interests and other people's. Um, yeah, I know this diary entry is all over the place. Well, I'm backlogged. I'm backlogged from a lot of things that have happened. Um, I think I'm also making this diary entry because I just feel a little alone right now. With this whole shift in a new chapter in life. You know, um, Nothing's as what you expect sometimes, and you know, uh, I am excited. There's always a silver lining to situations. I'm very excited to meet new people here in New York. Very excited to, um, you know, go to new places, go to new synagogues. A whole life that I've wanted in Austin. I can have here for the time being. Um, you know, there's that saying, life. What's the saying? Life doesn't. Not everything in life goes towards to like a plan that you want, but um, I was talking to a new friend, and we were having this conversation about, like, you're always in the right place at the right time because you're on your timeline and nobody else's. You see everybody else on their timeline in different places Maybe they're the same age as you, maybe they're a different age, maybe they're in a different part of life than you, but we're all on our own weird zigzagged path, and we all have a different destination, even though all of our destinations end up in the ground. The journey is always just so different. And I think something that an old therapist of mine always encouraged me to find the joy in every day somehow, because life's that journey. And lately I've been not really been finding the joy that I should be looking for, and making the effort that I need to do making an effort to do the things that I typically would want to do, having that motivation. So, I think it's important to self-reflect, have a self-talk, because I don't think a lot of people do that. Like my brother had some really good advice for me, which was like, just do nothing. And I started doing that, and it's like, you don't realize. I mean, I forgot this, but I used to do nothing all the time in my early 20s, and you'd always like very easy to process when you're in that, I guess. I mean, everybody's at different points with that, but to my brother's advice, point is, I did nothing, and I realized you don't really realize how much is there until you stop what you're doing and you pay attention to yourself. And as much as you are on your journey, you have to reflect. You have to assess like the things that you've experienced, data. It's easy to just stay busy. It's easy to be in a mode of just like work mode, or just self-distraction, depending on what kind of, everyone's got their own distraction of choice. Mine's like some doom scrolling, some unhealthy Netflix shows. Been watching Too Hot to Handle lately. I'm always interested in like relationship stuff, relationship reality TV stuff, drama. It's like funny to watch. But I also like learning from like social situations. So, but there's just ways that we distract ourselves, and I think to myself sometimes, if only we, instead of committing the time of being distracted, we committed that same time towards like learning, or just like, ramble like I am now, and kind of blurting out what's kind of inside, how much more productive that would be. But sometimes people could also argue that, is it really the point to be productive, or is it, are there other points to be had? Anyway, I today was just a reflection kind of day, and I had this idea to make this new series literally like right before I made this, right before I started anyway. And I think I had that idea because I think, while I don't have anybody special in my life right now, I think a solution to being alone, being to myself, or whatever, being single, I still want to feel like someone has me in life. And I think posting and sharing, having these conversations with the camera, are important. I think, especially like in hindsight, like looking to the future, like if I have kids or I have friends or family, or I just get older and I want to reflect on my journey, I have a cool little snippets to look back on and be like, wow, yeah, like that was me. Um, so, this is the beginning of a cool series, hopefully, of my diary logs. So they're gonna get personal. Um, it's kind of gonna be like a reality TV show kind of deal. I feel like it's gonna be like me, my life, but it's gonna be real, and I'll share as much as I want to share. That's me. That's as much as I can be open and honest. Um, but I do want to share new developments. I want to be more open, and I want to, with that openness, kind of show myself something new. And so that's kind of the point of the diary process, is like sharing to the world, sort of, right? Because it's public, but in doing that, being honest with the situations in my life and growing and committing to that process, I guess. So I met up with a special friend, and one of my special friends, who's visiting New York, you know, gave me a whole bunch of really good advice, because I really needed it. I've been backlogged on talking to anybody from Austin, and I was really happy that this person came into town to visit. Not me specifically, but was just in town. And he gave me a lot of really good advice, like not harboring on past partners of the past, figuring out how to move forward and just moving on, because there's better things out there. I think that was like one of the lessons I learned. Having a solid plan, committing to a solid plan. I'd mentioned to this person that, I'm just over sales. I'm overdoing the whole Uber thing. I do want to do something meaningful, which is really interesting, because he introduced me to somebody that is just all about ethical and meaningful work recently. And this dude's like really, really cool. And it was just very interesting that I want more meaningful work, and I am just, my headspace is always in like investing in finances. So I'm going to be studying finance stuff, specifically, risk management, and getting back into that. And he just told me to like just focus on small steps and work up to bigger things, right? I've always been like a high risk, high reward kind of person, and so it's just like, think about it the other day, like my situation always fluctuates in extremes, and I've always yearned for stability. And I wrote a letter to the Rebbe, this individual who's supposed to be very important, the Jewish world, who very connected to God. I wrote a letter to him asking for stability and asking for blessing for a lot of things, but one of them being stability, and to feel like a rock again. Because in Austin, I was really getting to a place where I was starting to feel like a rock. I was starting to feel like the responsible man that I wanted to be. And at one point, it kind of came all crashing down. So I want to rebuild back to that, and in my letter to the Rebbe, I wrote a little blessing for that. And he also gave me the advice. This person, sorry, I don't want to inference anybody, but he gave me the advice to what was I going to say? Start small. Oh, and to get back into social and to start doing the spiritual things that I enjoy doing, which is going to services, Shabbat, getting back into my routine of things that I was doing in Austin. Because where I am right now, it's very easy to literally feel like you're on an island. So that's what I'm going to do, as well as get a haircut tomorrow, because I definitely need a haircut. I'm also parting it in a totally different direction. So I noticed that my hair looks a little bit different now because I parted it in a different way. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like where my headspace is at with some of the advice I've been given. And I've just not been myself lately, and I just have those modes, but I feel myself coming into a better place and figuring out my reality here in New York, and how I need to adjust myself, and how I'm going to be here for my family and myself, and how I'm going to move forward. So I want to be optimistic and positive, and say that I'm excited to see how I move forward in life for where I am now, even though every bone in my body, every cell wants to not be in New York, but every cell wants to be close to family and to be there for family. And every cell of mine wants to be around my friends and to be around people I really care about. So I can't all do that simultaneously. I have to pick and choose. So I'm picking the family option there. But yeah, I just wanted to bleed out a little bit of that. Being back has been an adjustment for sure, but I believe that I believe that the universe, God, always puts you where you need to be, and you are always on your path to where you will always inevitably end up. You make the choices you make, and you kind of, you reap what you sow, right? You make your own bed, whatever that looks like. But I hopefully will have cooler ideas and discussions that are more interesting throughout these diaries. Maybe I'll create little themes for these diary moments when I have updates. I mean, I guess I do have themes in this one, but okay, so a theme recently that I'll be honest about is like, I've been feeling pretty lonely. It's hard being where I am. Not many friends yet that I've met. I haven't been to a lot of social stuff. Single as fuck. Haven't been to too many events to meet people. But I am really using this time to focus on me and my family and my relationship with my brother, and so I'm not really trying to meet anybody. But there's that, being somebody who just really cares for a connection and intimacy. It's hard not having it. There's always like that urge. And one of my friends back in Austin always used to joke about how I'd go back and forth between wanting to be out there and just and then just wanting a family, and then being out there and a family, being out there and then having a family. And I recently had a friend who just got married and is expecting, and I think that's super cool. And part of me is just so happy for them, and then part of me also wants that for myself one day. sooner than later. Jeez. But you know, that is something that I've been feeling, and I've been watching this show Too Hot to Handle, which is like so cringe, but at the same time, it's like, you know, there's like a TV show for everything, and I feel like what I'm missing in my life is what is literally on that show, which is just like people to be around, friends, fun. So hopefully that changes in the next month or two. Got some events to go to, so we will see. So, but I'm gonna try and keep these less than half less than half an hour. But you know, we'll see how this whole diary thing goes. But until next time, you know, thanks for tuning in. And if you have any ideas you'd want me to talk about or share, I will entertain it. All right, thanks for tuning in. See you guys.